Okay, greetings everyone. This is First in 2753 with the next episode of Neoliberal, a neoliberal approach to Brazil. By popular demand on the site, on the channel, a lot of people have commented they want to see more of this episode, this series. However, I don't know if I am going to be able, how much I'm going to be able to continue this. There are elections coming up, and I don't believe that my individual here is actually in the elections right now. Eduardo candidates. Is he actually a candidate for office? Let's see here. Yeah, I don't see him on the list, so I'm assuming when the election happens, it's going to automatically end my reign or my administration in Brazil. So I don't see this really working out. The elections are in 4 days. So I guess we'll find out pretty quickly. But just wanted to point out, neoliberal policies in Brazil did... What is that? That's like they doubled, I think, almost. Let me see. Let's check that out real quick. I think I might have done this in the last episode. Sorry, it's been a while. GDP growth. Look at our GDP growth. Our growth in percentage of GDP is the highest in the world. That's neoliberal policies. A result of neoliberal policies in Brazil. Our GDP itself, we're 4th in the world. We've surpassed Germany. Went from 9th to 4th. Almost. No. Yeah, we did double it. We doubled our GDP in 2 years with these neoliberal policies. Look at that 10% growth rate estimated. We have reduced the debt, national debt, from 2 billion to 2 trillion to 761 billion. So we've more than cut the debt in half. And we have a $193 billion surplus. So, and what's inflation at? Inflation is only at 7%. That's pretty good for that much growth. So, I mean, these policies worked out really well, and the economy exploded. I didn't do any trade agreements or anything, right? Or I avoided I got rid of the ones that I did early on. So it was really a lot of, mostly tax cuts. I did try to cut some expenses. But my popularity is, well, the last guy's popularity wasn't at 100. So neoliberal policies worked out really well economically. However, you may get assassinated for putting them in there. So, that's the one flaw in the neoliberal strategy. People might shoot you. Or this guy, I think, was stabbed in the chest. So, just a, fair warning out there. If you're going to be, applying neoliberal policies, the economy will do well. Could do great. However, you might get a knife in the chest. And so, let's see if... I don't know what's going to happen with the election. I have no idea what's happening with the election. Unemployment's at 4%. Those are overall good results. So with this election, if I guess the question is, if I don't win, which I guess I can't win the election, should I continue? It won't be a neoliberal approach as far as what is this?
Your commitment.
Got it. It won't be a neoliberal approach as far as managing the government, but do you want me to continue as a political party? Which is really kind of contradicts the whole theme of the series. The theme of the series is using neoliberal policies in Brazil to grow the economy up to... The goal was 10 trillion, so we didn't get anywhere near our goal, but we were on our way. And the other thing was becoming a hegemon, South American hegemon. And I did have these military installations here in the north that I was going to use to... Oh, there's another one we're building, huh? We're building it, or it's built? Building it. Elections begin tomorrow. Yeah, these northern military installations were designed to launch an invasion against Venezuela, which the United States has launched. However, I'm not seeing a lot of action from the United States. So the elections begin tomorrow. Let's see what happens. I don't know what's going to happen with this series or this episode, but I'm at least going to see the results of the election, and I'll leave it open for you guys to decide whether you really want me to continue this series, or if there's another series out there you want me to play. I was thinking one approach was something I saw online. I forgot which YouTube channel had mentioned it, but a pan-Sahelic initiative by the United States. The Sahel region here are these countries below the Sahara Desert, above the Congo river valley, that are dealing with mostly like savanna, but a lot of poverty, very impoverished countries here, hotbeds for Islamic fundamentalist terrorist organizations. So like the goal for a pan, and one of the reasons is with Africa, there's a lot of geopolitical theory with Africa. Oh, here we go. I'll get into that in a second.
Good evening.
Pause it.
The majority of votes have been counted.
I don't know what's going to
I
happen.
can now give you the first round results. Take
I
a look
wonder.
at this.
I guess my party has. It's only a first round. Are there 2 rounds of this? This could be a 2-round election. So that guy, Pedro, is definitely the winner so far. I don't know what party he is.
I've been told one of the defeated candidates is ready to make an announcement. Let's go to them now and see what they have to say.
Good evening. I am stunned by tonight's results. Although we are still waiting
I think that's
for
my
the
party.
official final results, there is no doubt that I have been eliminated from the race.
Ah, bummer.
Good night.
I think that was me. Anyways, back to that pan-Sahelic initiative. It would be a United States initiative to try to reform the pan-Sahelic countries, or yeah, all the Sahelic countries, the countries in the Sahel region, to eliminate all Islamic fundamentalism in these countries, as well as create democracies throughout these regions. So you're going to want to hold free elections. So it wouldn't be a conquest game. It would be promoting free elections in these regions, and maybe even bringing up the GDP of all these countries to a sustainable level, or GDP per capita, something along those lines. And maybe even could do some health reform goals as well. So all these could be some cool goals for a pan-Sahelic initiative series if you guys are interested. But like I said, Africa dealing with a lot of geopolitical problems. One, because there's very little access. There are a lot of rivers, but these rivers are not navigable as much as the rivers in the United States are, or Europe. Although that doesn't really play too much into the game, which I think it should. But access and infrastructure is a big problem in a lot of these countries. So access to resources, access to trade, and to trade with the rest of the world. So infrastructure projects like a trans-African railroad, or maybe some trans-African pipelines, could also be goals for that series. So if you guys like that series, let me know what you think, because that sounds like a really cool, interesting series for me. Again, if you have any particular series that you like and you want to donate to Patreon, feel free to do that, because then I will definitely start the series. Any Patreon donators at this point, I don't have a lot of money coming in on Patreon, so anyone who proposes something and supports me on Patreon will definitely get a series at this point. So feel free to jump in and do that. As for this series, Neoliberal Brazil, I don't know what's happening. I think I just lost the election. Let's see what happens here. Whoa, I had a meeting. I was trying to campaign still, huh? Yeah, that's my group. They lost. Very popular with this group. I don't know what I can do, though, at this point. Let's get him to speak highly of me in public.
Yes, it's a good idea. I'll do my best.
I think that's enough for this meeting, but I don't think it really matters. Presidential election turnout was at 64%. Voters exercised their democratic right yesterday. with the God and Spy, I should probably have an option to continue something. Just want to see what it is exactly. And then the subscribers of the channel here, or the Patreons, if there are any out there, can decide whether you want me to continue in whatever entity or mechanism that I can continue here. That is such a great economy. This is probably my best economic series, I'd say. I've never had a GDP surplus or a budget excess this high. And I've never had a GDP growth that high with such low inflation. Like, for economies in the past, for me to do this with trade deals, it usually blows up the inflation. But with the neoliberal policies, cutting taxes, really, or the way I did it, I guess, really allowed me to maintain a decent inflation level. I've also raised the heat wave, no. I've also raised the interest rates, right? Yeah, that's maxed out at 20%. Nothing I can do there. Heat wave has been mobilized. International community has mobilized support of the victims of the catastrophe. $89 million. So, still going here. I assume another round of elections should be coming up soon. Let's check that out. Rule by Portugal. Venezuela initiative. The United States military intervention mandate. Resolution was rejected. A permanent member of the Security Council vetoed it. What the heck? Oh, Venezuela was the initiative. They were trying to say that, why would they even bother? Of course the United States is going to veto that. Permanent members abstained. China approved it. Zimbabwe, Nigeria, Qatar, and Syria all were voted pro. And what's going on here? First presidential results, first round. Presidential elections, 10-27. So 10-27, I guess we're going to get voted out of office. And then the question is, do I continue? Oh, I think the Americans are landing here. Yeah, there's 150 tanks. Probably M1 Abram tanks. Oh, there are even more tanks coming in here. American invasion has begun. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. They're all over the place. Taking a closer look. Ignore that. Again, I don't know how to. If anything, I want to assassinate the person who won the election. No, I don't want to do that. I don't know how to deal with that cabinet member stuff. Whoa, 19,000 troops. 14,000 troops here, advancing towards the capital, Caracas. So I don't think we're going to be able to conquer Venezuela. I wonder if the United States is going to conquer him or make him a colony. Then the question is, can I build pipelines from Venezuela to Brazil? Give ourselves cheaper oil. A lot of action going on here. Zoom in. Whoa. American tanks. Congratulations. For what? I don't know.
You know full well that in our services.
Salutations from Secret Service.
Undoubtedly,
You were no help in the election. And ignore that. American airstrike. Oh, that's American? No, that was a Venezuelan airstrike. Venezuelan cruiser. Look at that. We are not at war with Venezuela, are we? And the Venezuelans look like they're trying to advance towards America. Okay, there we go. I see them now. Helicopters, special forces. I don't think they're going to get anywhere near the American coast. Five more days and we'll have the election, and then I don't know what's going to happen. But I will let the fans decide. It's maybe the last episode for Neoliberal Brazil. I want to see if these Americans actually I want to see what they do once they take Venezuela. Do they annex it? Do they colonize it? Do they hold free elections? They're going to want to do something. But I definitely like that Pan-Sahelic initiative. So let me know if you guys like that. That'll take a lot of thought. And if you do like it, let me know what goals you think I should have. Healthcare goals, economic goals, infrastructure goals, political goals. What are we going to do as far as that's all concerned? And again, I will be playing as the United States and trying to improve one of the most impoverished regions in the world. Be the benevolent hegemon, if you will. Okay, so we are at the 20... Oh, rugby.
Our sportsmen are ready.
Let's check that out. See if we can win the rugby competition. How's the economy looking? Still growing. 10% growth. Only 7% inflation. Whew. What other goals, what other tactics could I use to reduce inflation? Maxed out interest rates. Here we go. Here is the last upright line, Mr. President. Tomorrow, second round of elections take place, and therefore be paying attention to the results the day after tomorrow. So on the 28th, I guess we'll find out, and we'll be probably removed from office. And we'll see what our options are. And again, you can let me know what you think. What options do you want me to take? So I guess like the vice president took over, and then I guess a new candidate, different candidate, wasn't me, after the assassination. World Cup ambitions.
A week from the beginning of the competition, our team is perfect.
Alright, we probably won't see those results.
Our governmental cell informs me that it
Go
has...
ahead, let's get a mole in the French. That's not the capital. Regional capital. Caracas is the capital. Why are they invaded? They just went right past the national capital? That is ridiculous. Why did that happen? Here we go. 62% turnout. It's pretty good turnout, I guess.
Good evening. The time has come. The preliminary results are in, and we can now reveal...
I should have looked at who the two parties were, because then you guys would know. I don't know who these two parties are. Can I look at them? No, not right now. This guy was the popular, the favored. Pretty close. Nope, not that close. Ooh, man, it's a blowout. 60%? Wow. That's huge. Alright, so... breakdown. I'm not going to go into that details, so just skip that. Now what happens? What are my options? Look at Venezuela, overrun by the Americans here. I guess I have to wait till the end of the week, and they'll remove me, and then I'll have the option to play on as a political party. They captured a base. Alright, speed things up. This is war on steroids here. Alright, I think we have a recalibration coming up. I don't want it to crash. Okay, so Brazil lost. Would you like to play as an opponent? So, I'm going to click yes. This is because of the God and Spy. And, okay, so here it is. Here I could continue to play as a political party. I really don't like playing like this. But if I get a lot of popular support and maybe some Patreon funding, I definitely would. But if not, I think I might be moving on to another series here. So I could play as an opponent. That would be me. That would be the Liberal Democratic Party that I'd be playing as. Quiet departure for other horizons with relaxed expression on and a smile on the lips. Eduardo Jaders left the left the presidential palace after addressing his staff. The Liberal Democratic Party president concluded with a wink. I'm gonna miss this office. I spent some good times here. This guy was only in office for like a couple of weeks. So now we play, if you want, if you know, if I get some Patreon support out there and some subscriber encouragement, we can play as the political party, the Liberal Democratic Party, which is a right-wing party. There are 36 million sympathizers with an investment budget of $7.2 million and 250 seats in the Parliament. 2014 election, we had 49% vote in the presidential election, which actually won us the election. And look at this person. She is appreciation of you. That makes no sense. Okay. So the popularity dropped to 50% after I was taken out of office. The options here, let's see, we can still get information on how the economy is doing. And so the options would be nation. Yeah, there's so much different dynamic here. Laws. This is funding for me. I can launch fundraising campaigns. Detect, investigate figures, read secret files and figures, expose scandals, order a national poll, fund violent groups, launch protests, protest legislation, encourage organizations to launch protests, encourage organization to launch protest action against legislation, publicize movement, encourage head of state. I don't really do a lot of this. Usually, I haven't played too many of these series, so not very familiar with all this. But there'll be another presidential election in 2024. That's 5 years away. Oh my god. Congressional elections in 2022, 3 years away. We can try to secure the House, I guess, which it looks like we have 49.6% of Parliament, but I don't think we have any control over legislation. And we can always meet with people. So let me know what you think. I'm not too enthusiastic about it, but again, a lot of support from comments from subscribers, and any Patreon funding for sure would keep it going. But that's up to you guys. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the series, and I'll see you guys in other videos.